days ago.
Yeah, I think it was.
So
2
from
days
today, it would have been early. I think it was the 22nd or 23rd. He appeared before Congress.
By the way, this man has an international
A warrant. Yeah, there's a
warrant
warrant.
for him.
I don't think there's a couple countries he's been avoiding because of that, for that very reason.
So, which is it's kind of sad that there's an international warrant from the UN, and he comes to America, and America's just like, I don't
Yeah,
give
we're
a
fine.
fuck.
We'll,
not
receives
only
a standing
please come
ovation.
in,
Yeah,
calling him excellency, calling him. I'm like, dude, this is like,
yeah.
And then they see all those fucking photos comparing him to Hitler, like the same, like, good black
the
and white
clapping.
photos.
Yeah. What the best way I've heard this put is that like the Democrats kind of claiming that we need to make this stop for fascism, and while simultaneously there's a genocidal a guy who's literally committing a genocide against an oppressed people, and they're giving him a standing ovation at the same time saying we need to stop fascism. And it's just like, you've lost a plot. Like, fascism is at our door. Like, you are
American politics.
Yeah, it's just so dumb. Yeah, he spoke before like a joint session of Congress. I think it was a joint session of Congress. Shout out to Rashida Tlaib, Democratic Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib. She had this cool sign. Maybe put an image of it here.
Yeah,
it's like I forget what it said. Like, it says like justice. It says something about like something about genocide on one side and something about like war criminal on the other or something. And so she just had that as a sign while she was there. I will say the media was pretty disingenuous about Harris, specifically not being there. There was a bunch of headlines saying like Harris not going to see Netanyahu, whatever.
Guilty of genocide and war criminal.
Guilty of genocide on one, war criminal on the other. She had this little sign that she was just holding. So that was cool. And some people refused to stand. Also, do you see Fetterman wore a suit to this?
For the first time.
For the first time ever, he wears a suit.
So hard.
He wears a suit to go to fucking Netanyahu. So it's like, Jesus, dude, what a fucking piece of shit.
Like, how far is Netanyahu's fucking dick in his throat?
Yeah.
That's all I'm
That's
thinking.
the one thing. Fetterman's like, I'll wear a fucking Carhartt sweater and jeans, shorts, jorts for everything.
Yeah.
So everything. But
everything.
when Daddy Netanyahu comes to town, I gotta look my best.
Put on your nicest slippers.
On your Sunday best for Netanyahu. I don't know why I'm giving a southern accent. He's from Pennsylvania. But still, the point is that fuck Fetterman, dude. Anyway, what was I saying? Rashida Tlaib, Congress spoke. Oh, there's been a lot of disingenuous headlines about Harris not attending that speech, and a lot of her like Harris, refuses to go to speech. Harris skips Netanyahu, whatever. And I think it's like they're trying to falsely claim that like Kamala Harris is like protesting the Netanyahu speech, whatever.
Yeah, no.
It is clearly it's very explicitly been stated that she just had a scheduling conflict. She met with him later I think it was later that week. I don't think it was that same day, but she met with him privately later that day. She is in no way opposed to going to see Netanyahu. That's how there's been this narrative of like she refused to go see Netanyahu. That's not what happened.
Yeah.
She just couldn't. She literally couldn't. So
yeah.
Okay, let's calm down, everybody. She still supports Israel.
Well, yeah, we have to remember all the speeches that she has made at AIPAC, Like, yeah. She is, and saying she's honored to be here, and she just put out on Instagram. I just saw it recently.
That
letter
condemnation about the protesters.
Exactly.
Yeah. So while Netanyahu was speaking, there was a massive protest action in D.C. Thousands of protesters showed up, and it was all violently cracked down by local police, by Capitol Police, and just the D.C. police were there, just absolutely brutalizing protesters. There's been like multiple arrests, multiple injuries from it. You Google the images; it's pretty harrowing. There were a lot of just pro-Palestine protesters there protesting Netanyahu. I mean, like the actual war criminal. This is like. I don't know, like I don't like using Hitler analogies, but this is like, I don't know who the biggest fucking the dictator, your enemy, coming to your country and receiving a standing ovation by your government. This is who you come to protest. I don't remember the name of the fucking president who was like the 80s South African president. I forget his name.
Mandela?
No, previous to Mandela getting released, like the apartheid. There was an apartheid president. It doesn't matter. Yeah. The point is, there was an apartheid president, and he, like, America boycotted South African goods. That president, I don't believe ever came, or prime minister, whatever he is, I don't believe he ever came to speak to Congress, because like I don't think he would have been welcome, because like I think even in the 80s, like America was pretty anti South African apartheid. I could be wrong. I mean, foolish of me to assume that America would do the right thing. But I would imagine that they would never invite that guy over, right? Like you would never.
It would look bad on an
It would look
international
bad.
scale.
But I guess to be fair, like Pinochet probably spoke at Congress, so it's not like, I mean, you know what I mean. We invite these right wing dictators to come speak. So that, I guess my point is moot. The point is that while the enemy of like the evil man, the guy who's literally a war criminal, who's literally has an arrest warrant out, like the guy who's on par with Putin in terms of like war crimes, way worse than Putin, committing a genocide, actually active participant and leader of a genocide, he's being protested. Obviously he would be protested, and the governmental response to that was brutally cracking down on the protesters.
Well, that's because Israel is the 51st state of the United States. Like I mean, it's not even a state now. At this point, like Israel in general has their own lobby that pretty much has purchased 99% of the U.S. Congress. And so, of course, we're going to abide by whatever, AIPAC says, whatever Israel says, whatever Netanyahu, decrees. There will be small portions of, Congress people that like kind of like argue back. But even that may be kind of just for image issues, because if you even have 5, 10 people, 20 people, arguing back against what Israel wants done, what Israel wants, weapons, whatever, money, they know that is never going to pass. And so it kind of looks good just to have 20 people be like, I don't want this looks bad, right? It looks like there is some contesting of some contesting against Israel's policies. But reality, that's just a sham. And I mean, there's like, again, a conspiracy theory hat like that, those might just be like fucking set by the Democratic Party, by the Republican Party, just so there's like
stooges or plants, like audience plants.
Yes, thank you. There's like some kind of plant to fight back. Like so there's like this, like there's Congress people with a narrative against Israel, but in reality, there's not enough Congress people to do anything about it. But it still gives it a hope, a false sense of democracy.
I have a Kamala statement pulled up, if you'll permit me, regarding the protests outside of DC or in DC for Netanyahu.
Yeah.
Yesterday at Union Station in Washington, D.C., we saw despicable acts by unpatriotic protesters and dangerous hate-fueled rhetoric. I condemn any individuals associating with the brutal terrorist organization Hamas, which has vowed to annihilate the state of Israel and kill Jews. Pro-Hamas graffiti and rhetoric is abhorrent, and we must not tolerate it in our nation. We should have some pro-Hamas graffiti right here.
That'd be kind of cool, actually.
I condemn the burning of the American flag. That flag is a symbol of our highest ideals as a nation and represents the promise of America. It should never be desecrated in that way.
Wow. Okay.
Well, first of all, the Supreme Court has ruled the flag burning
is anti-free speech.
Anti-free speech, anti-First Amendment Kamala.
Oh my God!
Kamala, excuse me.
Kamala is against is against freedom of speech.
Yeah, Supreme Court has ruled that burning of the American flag is a First Amendment protected activity. I condemn yada yada yada. I support the right to peacefully protest, but let's be clear: anti-Semitism. It's a typo here. It's not here nor there. It says cult. It doesn't matter. Anti-Semitism, hate, and violence of any kind have no place in our nation. First of all, being pro-Palestine isn't anti-Semitic. They were trying to make anti-Zionism anti-Semitic. That bill, I think, is actually scheduled to vote soon. The bill that would relabel anti-Zionism as anti-Semitism.
That is crazy.
Which is fucking wild.
That's
a bill in America.
So like, okay, the next step should be presumably to make any bill that is against Saudi Arabia Islamophobic.
Yeah.
And that would make me one of the most Islamophobic men on earth, considering I grew up Muslim. It doesn't make sense.
It's insane. It's just so like how far we've become. Just like I don't know. It's on one hand we are a satellite of Israel. On the other hand, satellites of Israel us. On any given day, it's that relationship changes as it suits our politicians.
The bourgeois class sits between. It's a fluid transfer between Israel and America. It's one and the same. That's one thing. The second thing is that the fact that there are Jews who are now can be qualified as anti-Semitic because they're anti-Zionist. Make it make sense, please.
Yeah. It's insane. Also, we've said this before, we'll say it again. Equating Zionism with Judaism is anti-Semitic. Because that says that all Jews
all Jews are
nationalists, all Jews are like
loyalists
to Israel, and all Jews want to prosecute or persecute Arabs. So that's you're making assumptions of Jews. You're stereotyping
all Jews are colonizers.
Yeah, you are the ones saying you're stereotyping Jews. You are the ones putting labels on Jews. It's insane. Yeah, I don't know.
And then they call the other Jews that are the anti-Zionists the self-hating Jews.
Self-hating Jews. Yeah. Sally hates capitalism. Gets a lot of that hate. Whatever your views are on Sally hates capitalism, she is a Jewish woman who is pro-Palestinian. She gets a lot of hate on the internet. I mean, basically, if you're a woman leftist on the internet, like Izdahar gets like like I've gone through and I've like scrolled to the bottom of Izdahar's post, Lady Izdahar's like TikToks, whatever, and like view hidden comments, whatever.
Yeah,
and it's just vitriolic, like the most racist, like kill yourself stuff. Like it's awful.
Oh, even like just like sexualization. Like it's ridiculous.
It's just so bad. Yeah. So like all women in.
She's like, it's like I hate these commie scum, but this one's kind of pretty. I'm just like, what? Yeah. I saw the videos that she posts on YouTube. I watched them, and like she literally reiterates like all these ridiculous posts of basically sexualizing her or harassing her. But
yeah, she highlighted those recently, right? Yeah,
it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, we still gotta ask her to come on. All right.
Izzahar, do you want to come on?
Izzahar, lady, I don't know, first name lady, so Miss Izzahar.
Miss Izzahar.
I don't know. I don't know. Anything else to say about Netanyahu coming to America?
I mean, just coming home, really.
Yeah, he's just coming home.
He's coming home. He's
coming back. Yeah.
Motherfucker's not even.
Well, I thought it very funny. I thought it was like it's an industrial state. The Harris's vice president pick could be somebody who graduated from like an industrial college, went to high school and college in an industrial state in the Northeast. Like has a lot of like minority support or whatever. And it's like Harris's pick for vice president should be Netanyahu, just because like he went to school in Pennsylvania, and it's like
Should we watch that compilation clip of?
Yeah, we haven't seen this, right? We haven't seen this ahead of time.
No, I've watched the first 8 minutes.
Yeah, this is just a compilation of
and
things.
I could not take it anymore, and I was really about to just tell
All right, well here's just the highlights of Netanyahu's speech to Congress. We haven't seen this yet, so I don't know. It's
sit back and try not to produce self-harm.
Yeah, just do your best.
We meet today at a crossroads of history. Our world is in upheaval. In the Middle East, Iran's axis of terror confronts America, Israel, and our Arab friends.
What Arab friends?
This is
Saudi
not
Arabia, I guess.
A clash of civilizations. It's a clash between barbarism and civilization.
Just throw racism in there.
It's just kind of an unmasked Arab racism.
It's a clash between those who glorify death and those who sanctify life.
Can you pause this for 1 second?
These are like proven child murderers.
I would like to point out one more time back on the anti-Semitic talk that we had just a second ago. Arabs are Semitic people, right? So when you start talking, when you start speaking, when you start reiterating shit that is racist towards Arabs, it is anti-Semitic. And it's almost racist to pin only Jews or Jewish people as Semitic people.
Yep.
Because Arabs speak a Semitic language. There are people in Eastern Africa, like the people in Ethiopia, that speak Amharic, which is a Semitic language.
Yeah.
So it's
I mean most Semitic peoples are no longer exist. Yeah. I pulled up a list. It's Arabs, Jews, the Akkadians, the Phoenicians. Like these are ancient civilizations that are no longer with us. But Arabs and Jews are part of that list, and they're all Semitic.
We're also Semitic.
Sure.
And I get that some of that bloodline is still there. Most people that are in Egypt are not like Arab. They will say they're Arab, and they are culturally. They are mostly Arab, right? But if you look on their bloodline is Egyptian, right? Arabic is just like idea of being white. It is a construct of social norms, right? Yeah. People in Morocco, they speak Arabic. They have Arabic culture, but they are Berber people. They are not Arab by blood.
So, okay, I don't know.
Arabs originally came from southwestern Saudi Arabia, the Hejaz region, and they migrated along with their expansion.
Yeah, I knew that. Okay, right? Yeah, that's my ancient history knowledge coming back.
Akkadians are Semitic, but they're not Arab. But Arabs moved up there, mixed with the people, and that's how Iraqis came to play.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Sure.
the history lesson. We can make a whole history lesson.
Yeah.
Later on.
I mean, I'd like to get into more like long form like history content of like relevant to this stuff, like the history of Semitic peoples and what like. So when you say what Arabs being anti-Semitic, Arabs are Semitic.
Yeah.
Like so like that's just kind of a weird.
That's anti-Semitic.
Yeah. So like there would be there is an avenue there to make more long form like historical videos. Like
maybe if we get big enough, we can maybe open a second channel up and make
more like historical
yeah
side of things. Yeah. Anyway, ready to go?
Back to the video.
For the forces of civilization to triumph, America and Israel must stand together.
They're all just standing.
There's just this long standing ovation for the line America and Israel must stand together.
Please, Lord, bless me with more AIPAC money.
Because when we stand together, something very simple happens. We win, they lose.
Who's
Winning, they is Arab, Palestinians, Gazans, and winning is genocide, the extermination of that people.
And my friends, I came to assure you today of one thing. We will win. I thank President Biden for his heartfelt support for Israel after the savage attack on October 7th. He rightly called Hamas sheer.
Hamas.
He dispatched 2 aircraft carriers to the Middle East.
One of
to
which is
deter a
ran
wider
away.
war.
Let's tell which one it's like.
And he came to Israel
Because of the Houthis.
to stand with us during our darkest hour, a visit that will never be forgotten.
Every time, just standing ovation.
Yeah. It's just this weird nut hugging of Israel and Netanyahu.
President Biden and I have known each other for over 40 years. I want to thank him for half a century of friendship to Israel and for being, as he says, a proud Zionist. Actually, he says a proud Irish-American Zionist.
That's awful. That's the worst fucking thing I've ever heard. It's not surprising that Biden would be a proud Zionist, but what is happening? I don't like this.
No,
Oh, it's
AIPAC.
It's an ad. Oh my god.
Oh my god. What's funny?
There we go.
What's funny is that the Irish are actually very anti-Israel.
Yeah, the Irish are like the one that was the earliest like what was it? The Irish MPs in Parliament were the most like outspoken and the most anti-Israel. They were the first ones to really take a stand for Palestine. And this was like in like late October or whatever.
They've been taking stands for Palestine for a long time.
Yeah, I mean they've been before that,
Way
but since
before
October
that.
7th, they're the ones like on the world stage that kind of first came to like notoriety after the October 7th, because most people really started paying attention to the Israel-Palestine thing since October 7th. There's been a few like leftists have known what's going on, and a few people have been known, especially if you're Arab or Palestinian. I don't know.
But Loki moved to Ireland.
Yeah,
Sounds
that'd be
real
cool.
nice.
Yeah.